Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back.
The iQOO 15, Redmi K90 Pro Max, and OnePlus 15 are probably the three phones giving you the biggest dilemma in this price range. These sub-brand flagships usually pack top-tier specs, which is why they attract so much attention. So of course, a proper head-to-head comparison is exactly what everyone wants to see. A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our exciting tech content. And hey, dropping a like wouldn't hurt. Today, I'm breaking everything down for you in detail. This year, we've seen some massive leaps in display technology. iQOO is using a 2K panel co-developed with Samsung. Redmi has brought its flagship-level super pixel display with a fully independent RGB layout, and OnePlus is offering a 1.5K screen that cranks the refresh rate up to 165 Hz. Even now, a lot of people still aren't sure whether Redmi's super pixel tech can truly match the clarity of traditional 2K inline pixel arrangements. My answer? Yes, it can. Here's what's going on under the hood. Super Pixel uses completely independent RGB pixels, so it doesn't need to borrow from adjacent pixels. In contrast, the inline pixel arrangement used by iQOO and OnePlus does rely on pixel borrowing, which is why the industry uses an 8-value conversion method to measure clarity more accurately. After conversion, the K90 Pro Max ends up with around 419 ppi, the iQOO 15 has 508 ppi, equivalent to about 406.4, and the OnePlus sits at 450 ppi, equivalent to about 360. So yes, Redmi's PPI performance really does compete with 2K inline displays. But remember, screen sharpness isn't just about resolution. PPI is the real metric that matters. If we simplify it, the K90 Pro Max and iQOO 15 both deliver finer detail than the OnePlus 15. Xiaomi and Redmi have been pushing display innovation hard, from the star-shaped red luminous material to the entire super pixel approach. And honestly, the level of detail genuinely matches a 2K inline display. When it comes to eye protection, each brand uses its own method. But compared to iPhones, domestic Android brands are definitely easier on the eyes. Looking at the three devices side by side at minimum manual brightness, the contrast looks pretty uniform. And yes, the Redmi on the left seems to handle low brightness flicker slightly better. As for refresh rates, OnePlus is the most aggressive on paper, but in normal daily use, unless you're messing with developer settings, most apps still max out at 120 Hz. That includes the iQOO as well. Refresh rates above 120 Hz, like 144 Hz or 165 Hz, mainly shine in gaming. So when choosing a display, if you love Samsung panels, go for iQOO. If you like cutting-edge domestic tech, Redmi is the one. And if ultra-high refresh rates are your thing, OnePlus is your pick. This year, all three brands switched to designs with larger rounded corners on the front. In terms of bezels, the 1.5K panel on the OnePlus 15 is noticeably slimmer. As for the backside, the designs differ quite a bit. iQOO sticks close to its previous generation but hides the LED light under the camera deco. Redmi connects a massive 1620 super large subwoofer to the main body, and the entire camera module design has been updated. OnePlus moves away from its classic circular module and now features a square design. If I had to pick the most surprising rear design, I'd go with the K90 Pro Max. It genuinely enhances the phone's overall feel and visual appeal. It's a noticeable upgrade. After using all three phones myself, the biggest surprise for me was actually the camera experience. I think many people got so distracted by the K90 Pro Max's upgraded triple speaker 2.1 channel audio that they didn't notice one of its other major strengths at this price point, its overall photography performance. While Redmi was improving the K90 series, it also put serious effort into boosting camera quality. So let's start by talking about that. In the first set of daytime shots with plenty of light available, the differences between the main sensors aren't huge. When you zoom in on details though, the iQOO tends to show heavier sharpening artifacts. Resolution-wise, all three deliver fairly similar results in this group. In the second set, OnePlus brings out its new super light photo feature, which activates a high pixel mode in well-lit scenes. Here, the image size jumps to 17.4 megabytes, and the detail is noticeably better than what Redmi and iQOO produce. This is definitely a feature other brands should think about adding. Next, in the 2x zoom comparison where high pixel mode doesn't kick in, the strength of Redmi's Light Hunter 950 main sensor becomes obvious. The K90 Pro Max pulls in more detail, while iQOO again appears more aggressive with sharpening. In the first round of night mode main camera samples, when you focus purely on detail, the K90 Pro Max actually resolves more than the OnePlus and the iQOO. In this set, iQOO edges slightly ahead of OnePlus. The second group shows a similar pattern. Redmi delivers better resolution overall, with iQOO and OnePlus trailing by a small margin. In the third round of samples, Redmi once again comes out on top in fine detail, especially noticeable around the screws, while iQOO and OnePlus are basically tied. Overall, when you look at main camera performance as a whole, the Lighthunter 950 is clearly the strongest. Now let's move to telephoto. The three phones start at different focal lengths, so I unified them all to 5x for a fair comparison. In the first daytime telephoto set, all three perform well under bright lights, but the detail sets them apart. Redmi captures the screws sharply without losing texture. In the next detail comparison, Redmi remains ahead, clearly showing even the PVC markings. OnePlus and iQOO struggle a bit more here and feel like they're guessing at the text. In the third daytime telephoto sample, iQOO's white balance shifts due to the challenging contrast and bright background. When you zoom in, Redmi and OnePlus handle the details better than iQOO, which also shows more algorithmic artifacts. In the first nighttime telephoto set at 5x, all three do a respectable job. Redmi's detail advantage is still obvious, though you do see some noise, so there's room for optimization. The gap between OnePlus and iQOO in this set is small. In the second night sample group, all three are capable shooters, but Redmi once again holds the upper hand in resolution. Between the other two, iQOO performs better than OnePlus here. Across all 5x night comparisons, Redmi consistently wins in detail, with iQOO slightly ahead of OnePlus. For the longer telephoto sets, one in daytime and one at night, the story stays the same. All three can capture good shots, but Redmi delivers stronger dynamic range and clarity. At night, thanks to periscope lenses across the board, the results are solid, but Redmi still pulls ahead in fine detail, with iQOO again doing better than OnePlus. It's also worth noting the starting focal lengths. iQOO begins at 73mm, OnePlus at 85mm, and Redmi at 150mm. This means between 73mm and 85mm, iQOO's telephoto looks clearly stronger. Between 85mm and 150mm, iQOO and OnePlus outperform Redmi. In some samples, you can see Redmi blending focal lengths, which isn't as clean as the direct optical telephoto from iQOO and OnePlus. But once you hit 5x and above, the K90 Pro Max pulls ahead again with clearer results. So looking at the overall photo comparison, my first impression was right. The K90 Pro Max offers surprisingly strong imaging for its price. It's one of those phones where people might underestimate the camera, but once you start shooting, it proves its capability quickly. As for iQOO and OnePlus, iQOO tends to edge out OnePlus in telephoto, while OnePlus benefits from Oppo's Lumo imaging, which automatically kicks in high pixel mode for better detail. When it comes to performance, each brand has its own strategy. Redmi brings in the Raging Engine 3.0, iQOO uses its QNSS super rendering engine, and OnePlus relies on its new Wind Chaser gaming kernel. All three have their own approach to game optimization. In my tests, whether it was Genshin Impact or the Star Rail Golden Moment stress test, they all delivered impressive gaming performance. In my Genshin test environment, each of the three managed a stable full-frame experience while keeping power consumption within 4 babuts. In Star Rail, during high-resolution rendering, all of them held above 59 FPS at just over 6 watts. But when comparing closely, Redmi's power efficiency was slightly better overall. Even so, all three clearly offer a top-tier gaming experience, showing that each brand is pushing heat dissipation and performance scheduling to the limit. All three also support super resolution and super frame technologies. Xiaomi and iQOO have dedicated graphics chips for this, while OnePlus achieves similar results through its updated gaming kernel. It's obvious that all three brands know exactly what their performance-focused users want. The iQOO 15 even pushes up to 2K resolution with 144Hz super resolution and super frame support, and it can enable ray tracing in games like Genshin. OnePlus has created a full 165Hz gaming ecosystem, and many titles are already hitting 165 FPS. The performance ceiling is undeniably high across all three devices, and like I said earlier, as sub-brand flagships, they're all pushing for the best possible performance package. In terms of battery life, every phone here packs more than 7,000 1000 milliamp hours. In my simulated 4-hour heavy load test, the K90 Pro Max lasted longer than the OnePlus 15 and noticeably longer than the iQOO 15. That comes not only from its big 7560 milliamp hour battery, but also its super pixel display, which maintains high clarity comparable to 2K while being more power efficient. So overall, the iQOO 15 falls behind a bit in endurance. Both iQOO and OnePlus are able to survive around 8 hours of heavy load without shutting down. But in the battery world, bigger is always better, and Redmi simply has the bigger cell. For daily user experience, OnePlus's new Dune back texture may not be glass, but the feel is genuinely impressive. In audio quality, Redmi is way ahead right now, with a 1620 subwoofer paired with dual 1115F speakers for a full 3-speaker setup. The sound is seriously good. Vibration is another area worth mentioning. The iQOO 15 uses a large dual-axis motor, but surprisingly, I think the haptics on the K90 Pro Max feel even better. Once you try it, you'll know exactly what I mean. The bounce and feedback are just satisfying. In terms of features, all three support ultrasonic under-display fingerprint scanning, triple-screen Beidou navigation, dual-frequency GPS, wireless charging, and an IP68 rating. So the essentials are all covered. Now let's talk software. ColorOS 16 is still extremely strong this year. Its animation interruption system is one of the best in the industry, especially when apps are already open. Everything feels fluid. Origin OS 6 brings big changes too, adding blurred exit animations, a new stacked layout, and more personalization options. Both ColorOS 16 and Origin OS 6 have refreshed their visual styles, clearly inspired by iOS 26's liquid glass design language. You'll see a lot of similar fluid effects. Of course, these aren't Apple's real-time rendered effects, so whether you like this new look or not is up to you. Xiaomi's HyperOS 3, in contrast, barely uses any liquid glass style visuals. In my review of the K90 series, I said HyperOS 3's reputation would improve after this launch, and judging from user feedback, that turned out to be true. It fixes the major frame drop issues from the previous generation, dramatically improving smoothness overall. In my continuous stress test across the K90 Pro Max, OnePlus 15, and iQOO 15, after cycling through the challenge with more than a dozen testers, none of their systems showed frame drops. So yes, the stability is real. People always ask which system I prefer. Personally, I think ColorOS 16 edges out HyperOS 3 and Origin OS 6, but I want to emphasize that HyperOS 3 has improved much more than most people expected. So at this price range, it's clear that iQOO, OnePlus, and Redmi are all putting serious effort into these devices. As sub-brands, pushing into the high-end segment means they have to differentiate aggressively and deliver more value. If I said all three are worth buying, some would accuse me of sitting on the fence. But if I absolutely had to choose, the overall experience of the K90 Pro Max stands out the most. From its new super pixel screen with high clarity to its powerful 2.1 channel triple speaker setup, its surprisingly strong camera system, exceptional battery life, full set of features, and an improved software experience, it just offers more compelling reasons to pick it. But that doesn't mean iQOO or OnePlus are weak. The iQOO 15 delivers excellent gaming performance and better battery life than before. The camera system, which I previously criticized, has improved a lot thanks to the new periscope telephoto. The screen is less harsh and looks clearer than before. The OnePlus 15 is built around delivering ultra-high refresh rate gameplay, especially in FPS titles where 165 FPS really makes a difference. Its hardware isn't the most impressive on paper, but the phone is still solid in everyday use. ColorOS 16 is great, its camera is decent for the price, and battery life is acceptable. So when comparing all three side by side, is choosing one easy? Not really. It's not that you can't decide. What matters most is understanding your own priorities. All right, that wraps up today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.